Hello everyone, it's Yvonne here from the Aussie Goddess, here to do your bonus read for Tuesday the 20th of November. We're having a change of deck. I'm going to do the two reads with a different deck now every morning. Oh boy, that's nice. Soulmate love, true love coming in. And different deck. So we'll see what happens this morning, because I think it's very interesting that the readings, even though I do a bonus reading going to a completely different reading, we're always getting the continuation. So I thought this way, if you see a continuation of the reading, you will understand it doesn't matter. Spirit will get the messages through to you regardless. So I have the Hanson Roberts deck here. It's only a little deck. I need to buy the bigger one. It's a bit small, this one. Oh, 10 of Rods. Some people dropping a heavy burden today as well. So let's see what the cards have to offer. Firstly, quick thank you to all my subscribers, especially the new ones. Well, not especially, but thank you again to the new people. Thank you for my supporters. I have people who are absolutely amazing, writing me the most beautiful messages. That's just wonderful. I feel very loved and very special. Not special in that kind of way either. Although some may argue that I'm a bit special. Oh, the star, some beautiful cards jumping out today. And if my readings don't resonate with you, that's fine too. I'm not going to be everybody's cup of tea, right? But as long as I am for, many people, I'm more than happy. I was just thinking about, I went on a ghost tour on Saturday while we were away doing readings at one of the jails here. For those who are Australian, it's in Maitland, and it was so cool. It was one of the best tours I've ever done, and so not creepy. I don't know whether someone's got in and cleared all the ghosts out, but it was really, really very, very pleasant evening. So, I love ghost tours. Alrighty, bonus read. Oh, 10 of Rods. That just jumped out at me too. So 10 of Rods means end of cycle, end of heavy burdens. There's new starts coming in. I can feel it this week. I can feel it in my soul that something's happening this week. Things are starting to move. There feels like there's a feeling of, not anticipation, apprehension. There's a feeling of things moving a lot quicker than what they've done previously. So I feel like we're going to have a turn of events this week. Very interesting, but definitely putting down burdens there, people, and I like that. Okay, so the first card we have out is Justice. We had a lot of major arcanas in the What's Cracking read, so it won't surprise me if the same thing happens here, but we'll see. So the Justice card talks about putting wrongs right, putting things into place, making sure there's an equal balance here. It is the card of Libra. So it's about having an equal tipping of the scales. It is a card of karma. It does talk about, you can see with the sword here that it's about clarity, getting things right, putting things in their place. Okay, then we have the 9 of Rods. So some of you have come from, this is the card of the Wounded Warrior. So some of you may have come through some pretty heavy times. You may have done a lot of work on yourself. You may be feeling a little bit sort of jaded from the journey because you're putting boundaries around yourself here. And while I think that the whole idea of the Wounded Warrior and the boundaries is a very good one for people who've come through a tough time, I always think, it's really good to say here that these boundaries need to be your boundaries. They need to protect you. But you shouldn't shut people out or close people out. Boundaries are, just being really sure that you're standing in your truth. Being able to say to people, you know what, I won't have you treat me that way. I don't deserve to be treated that way. Or, I don't want a relationship with you because you keep telling me you're going to leave your wife and you've still gone, so I'm calling off the relationship. I won't have you treating me that way. I deserve to be respected and loved and cared for, and what you're doing is not those things. Those are the sort of boundaries I'm talking about. You're being able to say no to people, or that's not acceptable behaviour, or, you can't treat me that way. You may be treating other people that way, but you can't treat me that way. And then we have the 4 of Pentacles. Now, the 4 of Pentacles can talk about hanging on to the past, unable to let the past go, but it can also talk about hanging on to things that no longer serve you. So this can talk about having habits that don't serve you any longer. you know, holding on to things you've learned in childhood that no longer sort of fit your journey. It can talk about holding on to money too. So if you have been a little bit sort of pushed for cash lately, could be about holding on to your money too tightly. Just remember, everything flows in the universe. You've got to be able to, you know, stop worrying about where the money's coming from. Worry doesn't bring money in. Worry stops you from getting money. So I'll get a recap in a minute. I'm getting close here. Then we have King of Pentacles. So this is an earth sign. It's a Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. The thing is, with this energy, it feels to me like you are being called to stand in your truth, stand straight, be honest, be down to earth, and stand in your integrity. So I always think I'm not talking about all Capricorn, Taurus and Virgos being people like that, because they are not, but the actual theme of that card is about those things. Okay. What the cards are saying here is there's some sort of karma at play here. There's some sort of balance that needs working out here. But in order to get your balance, you have to learn to let things go and put your boundaries in place. You need to be standing in a place of truth. You need to be really honest and direct here. And I'm not talking about truth as in being truthful, which a lot of people think standing in your truth means, but it's not. Standing in your truth is letting your ego go. It's about being true to who you are. And these boundaries here need to be put in place so you can be true to who you are. You're letting go of things that no longer serve you here. And then we have the High Priestess. So she's making an appearance from the What's Cracking reading. This is about trusting your intuition, going with who you are, understanding your deeper purpose, understanding your higher self, knowing who you are deep inside. Again, about living in your truth. And then we have the Empress. This is beautiful. Okay, so the Empress talks about, you know, being natural, being, you know, she's the Gaia, she's the Earth Mother. She's ready to birth new ideas. She's ready to bring new things into you. She is very, very beautiful, very nurturing, very loving and kind. Could be that some of you are falling pregnant at the moment after letting go of some fear here. Accepting. Okay, and then we have the Five of Swords. Now, the Five of Swords does talk about conflict, but it's that empty battle. It's winning the battle at someone else's cost, usually your own. So it's like you've won something, but you've won nothing from it. You may have won the argument, but it's not a good win here. Still trying to get these energies here. They're a little bit all over the place. There's a message coming in here, a message of truth, an apology. An apology. Somebody wanting to say sorry. Somebody wanting to come back after some sort of conflict. They see you as their Empress, and they want to come back after conflict here. I'll do a recap for this one in a moment. The Four of Wands. Somebody wants to bring you some sort of stability to your life here. Somebody is ready to bring you in this. And the Three of Cups. So there's a celebration here. Alrighty. Plenty of time. Okay, there's some sort of karmic situation about to happen for some of you out there. You're letting go of something that no longer serves you here. And I feel like you've been wounded in the past, but the universe is saying to you here, you know, you need to learn to stand in your truth. You need to learn to face this with strong boundaries. There's something you need to give birth to here. There's something that's opening up to you, some sort of new opportunity, whether this be money or love. It's about you understanding who you truly are in all this. There's some sort of conflict you've had with someone in the past, and you're about to get an apology for that conflict. But the universe is saying to you, don't go into this with, you know, a very guarded attitude. You've got to go in. You need to set boundaries, but you also need to go in by letting go of what hasn't served you previously. So there's a call here for you to let go of anything that's happened in the past and come in with a true sense of yourself and a brand new approach. But what they're asking you to do is come in with an approach that is true to who you are and listening to your higher self and your intuition here. Because I feel like somehow or another you've perhaps acted in the past from your past. You've acted in the past with what you've been taught rather than what you truly know. I hope this means something to somebody. It's like you've acted from what you were taught rather than what you know in your gut here. There's a lot of cards here that talk about coming from the self, coming from your truth, coming from who you are. This is a very karmic situation, by the way. Something has to level the playing field here. And I think in the past you've acted from maybe a very, I don't want to say childish response, but it's almost like a childlike response. So you've acted, maybe too emotionally or maybe too immaturely. And what the universe is saying here is they want you to step in your higher truth, put your boundaries down and come from a place of integrity. Because when you came from the other place, you didn't do very well with this Five of Swords. You won it, but maybe you won it at your own expense. Because what they're saying now is somebody wants to come back and offer apology for something. I don't know what this is. There's no sort of love cards here. But this apology will bring in some stability to your life that perhaps you haven't felt for a while. Maybe a bit more understanding of who you are, maybe a bit more understanding of your place in the world. But there's definitely a celebration here at the end of this. So it's almost like you really achieve something wonderful here. So if this for some of you is a work situation or a business situation, I feel like perhaps you've had some sort of altercation with someone in the past and you've acted perhaps a little bit out of anger or spite, especially with this Five of Swords. And you've hung on to what you know. But the universe is saying, please let that go now, because the person is coming back to apologize. Don't try and treat it like a very fresh approach. Don't go in with your prior expectations and your wounding. Have boundaries in place, sure, but don't come in from this wounded warrior perspective where you're, sort of playing this sort of victim mentality here. Come in with a very pure, good attitude, because this will bring you stability and straighten out the karma. And there is definitely the celebration at the end because you've achieved something amazing. So, there you go. Nice reading, folks. It could be a love situation. There aren't a lot of cards of love here. I feel like it's a lot more about the karmic sort of returns for you. Oh, that one wanted to come out. So the card that comes out is the card of Angel, and it says your angels are guiding and protecting you on your spiritual journey. So I think this is why it's so important for you to go in and change this way of thinking. Perhaps you need to change your approach. Slow your roll. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful Tuesday.